Welcome to paradise. At least a small fragment of heaven must have endured in these lands. How else could a place like this otherwise exist? This journey takes us into the soul of rural Romania, deep within the Carpathian mountains in southwestern Transylvania. While this remote and authentic destination is no longer unknown to many travelers, it has managed to maintain much of its original charm to the last decade or so. It's actually quite an adventure to get to our destination, as both options are relatively exhausting. We start off from the E79 European road, about midway between the towns of Petroșani and Haceg. We then take a small road that branches eastwards through the villages of Ponor and Dohaba Ponor, turning right before the scattered village of Federi. From there, the road quickly ascends and becomes a treacherous dirt road that not many cars can withstand. While I did not use 4x4 for the whole 10 kilometers or so of this forgotten path, it did take about an hour. There are huge rocks and ditches, and you'll definitely scratch your car along the way. The alternative is to hike from the village of Dohaba Ponor, and it's quite an enjoyable experience, with much of the trail passing through gorgeous rural landscapes and enchanting woodland. We are now inside the Grădiștea Muncerului Cioclovina Natural Park, a fascinating destination of Romania, a perfect blend of stupendous natural landscapes and unique cultural traits. It protects the old fortresses of the Dacian kingdom, authentic villages, stunning waterfalls and caves, as well as a rich biodiversity. On the gentle ridges and through the shady valleys of the Șureanu Mountains, we can still discover places untouched by modern civilization, where the whispers of the ancestors can still be heard in the breeze, where people still live in perfect harmony with nature. One such place is Fundătura Ponorului, a remote hamlet of almost surreal beauty. Nicknamed the Palm of God, it was discovered relatively recently by travelers and has quickly become a popular destination, maybe even hurting its authentic and peaceful atmosphere. I have been here 3 or 4 times already, and each time I fall in love with its quiet serenity and sublime beauty. This visit was almost entirely to document the place and less about photography, as conditions were not perfect. Most of the following photographs were taken during my last trips to this marvelous destination. A lazy creek flows along a lush long valley, passing through pastures and courtyards, before finally disappearing into the depths of the earth under a tall rock. On the surrounding hills, we find remote houses or lonely shelters, some of them long deserted. Proudly called manors by the locals, these seasonal homes are usually inhabited from early spring to late autumn by old people that still respect these ancestral traditions. Sometimes along these idyllic pathways, we encounter villagers on horseback, following an oxen cart, or leading a few cows to green pastures. The bucolic atmosphere and rustic way of life in these secluded hamlets was somewhat disturbed by travelers like myself. While they were already slowly fading away, the question is if they can be revived somehow, but still retain their authenticity. You see, there's a problem in Romania and there aren't many ways to solve it. While in other places on Earth, the truly rural landscapes have lost any hint of traditional lifestyle, Romania still preserves many amazingly authentic villages, but this is changing before our eyes. The young are living for better lives in the cities and often abroad, while only the old are left to guard these archaic treasures. It is obvious to those who understand these landscapes and this lifestyle that, in many ways, they are holding on by a thin thread, often on the lifespan of a fleeting generation. Nonetheless, we are in the heart of the old kingdom of the Dacians, and these people might be their closest descendants. They have withstood for 2 millennia and might yet endure the changes of modern civilization in one form or another.
Părăsite multe, nu? Au fost 3-4 km până unde se închide iar valea mult, până acolo.
Face una stângă.
Nu, acolo nu.
Ai ajuns până acolo.
Nu. Mers vreo 4 km. Se închide, se urcă un pic deasupra râului și după aceea se deschide iară cu 3 case. Acolo m-am oprit. Că nu...
Mai e de acolo, de unde urci un pic în sus, să facem mai o vale în stânga și valea aia, dacă ești la Poiana, omul te duci la Luncani. Am avut și noi multe, dar le-am vândut, nu mai avem vânzat ce spunea Ciupor. Trebuie om după ele, nu?
Da, alea nu stau, vacile singure, vin singure acasă.
Seara le aduc de mult, dimineața, dau ței.
Throughout my journeys to this marvelous valley, I met some of the most genuine people one could imagine, like this welcoming man who shared some of his stories for a few minutes. He told me about the secrets of this place and how life has changed recently. For decades accustomed to only a handful of neighbors, he now offers lodging for travelers hiking the already famous Via Transylvanica long range route, which passes right through his courtyard. A few seasons ago, a nearby woman offered to make us some traditional donuts, as we were camping in her garden. In the valley below there used to be another old woman, over 80 I presume, who lived alone in a wooden cabin. We saw her each morning hanging out at the first rays of light with her small herd of sheep and faithful dog. I wonder how many other ageless stories are intertwined along this marvelous little valley.